Now, today's session, the agenda is we are going to take a look at the data visualization part. Okay, so as part of the data visualization, we will take a look at what are the different types of charts that are available, and then when to use what charts. In a single session, we'll not be able to cover everything. Whatever I can cover, right, we'll cover it. Before we dive in there, the charts, right? First of all, let us understand what is data visualization. So what is data visualization and why data visualization is required? Do I really need to have the data visualization? Okay, sorry. Very good. Thanks, Renuka. Okay, first we will understand what is data visualization, and then we'll take a look at why we need to do the data visualization. Okay, why we need to visualize the data using charts and all. Okay, so what exactly data visualization is all about? In simple term, right? To say it in one liner, it is about presenting the data in charts. Charts are nothing but visuals. In Power BI, we call charts as visuals, such as bar chart, column chart, donut chart, bubble chart, and so on. Next, the question is, okay, these are the charts that are available. So, viewing the data, instead of viewing the data in tabular format, we'll be viewing the data in visuals, so that it will be very much helpful to visualize the insight in a pretty fast manner. Look here, this is the sales related chart. Okay, sales by weekday. So if you see here each day, what is the sales? Right, out of this 7 weekday, and which day the sales was high? You don't want to ask this question when you look at this visual just by eyeballing this. Yes, Sanaj Kumar, right? Sunday is very high, but the peak is on Sunday. And if you look at the trend here, Saturday and Sunday. So let's assume that this is the last 6-month data. With 1 month data alone, you cannot draw any conclusion by saying that every Saturday, Sunday, the sale is good. 1 month data is also fine, because in 1 month we have 4 weeks, right? All the 4 weeks consolidated Saturday and Sunday sales, if we can plot it, with this itself we can make out. And for the sake of consistency, if you use at least 6 to 7 months data, and if you plot it here, right, 7 months Saturday, how much sales we made in total, right? 7 months Sunday, all the Sundays in 7 months, what are the total sales we made? So with that, we can understand the pattern quickly. So Saturday, Sunday, the sale is more. So in that case, what we do is, by knowing this, you can come up with an action plan. What kind of action plan? Just tell me, sir, let's say in the typical retail shop, you are working as a manager, and you can see that Saturday, Sunday sale is more. So what are the steps that you take it? So, these insights, you are getting it by visualizing it. What are the next step that you do it? What are the next steps? What are the action plan from the business point of view, what you do? So what you do is you stock up more items on the Saturday and Sunday, right? You stock up more items on the, yeah, that is another thing. We need to work upon Tuesday and Thursday. Yes, okay. And right, but importantly, make sure that you have sufficient amount of stock available on Saturday and Sunday. That is very important, because more customers are purchasing, more sales is happening, more sales are happening during weekend. If you don't have sufficient amount of stocks, right, items that are available, then customer will get frustrated, and then they'll stop visiting your shop. Okay, whenever I go there, out of stock, out of stock. Okay, that is one aspect. Other things are like, okay, the reason why customers are the more sales is happening during weekend is most of them are working professional. And if you look at the countries like USA and all, right, both husband and wife, they are working, right? So the the both the parents, they work. So in that case, they cannot afford time during the weekdays, and weekends only they can come and buy it. Other things could be like weekends you give more offers. Okay, likewise, n number of things. Just by visualizing this, many things will pops up in your mind. See, Monday, Tuesday, if you see here, right, after Sunday, the sale is not right, still is going down. Gradually, it is going down, and then gradually it is going up. Friday evening, the business will pick up, and Saturday, Sunday, no matter what discount you give, offer give, this is a holiday for them. In US, if you see, right, Saturday, Sunday, they never go to work. and they go and they spend time with family and they go to mall and they make purchase everything. And Saturday, Sunday, the sale will be peak. Okay, so make sure that from the retail chain point of view, I know you need to stock up more products, otherwise customer will walk out. And apart from this, no, this is the important thing, right? If you look at n number of causes, but yeah, n number of causes could be. That's what I said, right? N number of causes, but most of the thing, right? If you see, right, the Saturday and Sunday, the sale is more. That's a common phenomenon. Okay, fine. And thing is like, yeah, what are the other action items that you can come up by seeing this? You can deploy more number of staffs. Okay, weekends, and also you can see this one where Wednesday and Thursday sale is not good no matter what offer we give. Probably we can reduce the number of staffs and we can deploy more number of staffs. By reducing the number of staff, you are cutting down the cost, and at the same time you are redistributing these employees on. See, what are the expense that you can incur, right? For example, if you have fixed number of employees, what will happen? More number of employees you recruited, fixed number of employees. In that case, what will happen? You will, no matter whether you have sale or not, you need to give the, you need to make the payment for everyone, right? So the wages, salary. So in that case, right, we can redistribute. Probably you can tell them, hey, we don't need 2 shift, or each shift I need only this much, and rest of them we can come. In US, right, they work, they, hourly basis, or in some cases they paid. But most of the cases, if you see, right, hourly basis, they are getting paid. Staffs, you can reduce it, and then you can make sure that you can stock up more items during weekends, right? These are the action items. And the reasons could be anything, but what action you do it, that is what is more important. Okay. And if you see here, other reason is the price. Price is also important. Not only the offer is nothing but discount. They give discount, the price will be less. So, but of all the reasons, if you see, the price is one of the primary factor why the sale is more. Okay, and even though customers visit weekend, if the price is not on par or it is not cheaper compared to your competitors, obviously your customer will walk out. Okay, they will see that one's offers, everything, sale, any sale, right? And ratings, they see the ratings, and these are the number of reasons, right? Number of ratings, convenience of shopping. The convenience also matters, because if you see US, right, they look for more of convenience also. Okay, if I go to the mall, do have the sufficient parking spaces available, and also for kids any for kids any playing thing, the toys are there, something like that. Okay, and if you see some malls, right, they keep separate place for kids to play, so that parents can leave the kids and then they can go and make purchase everything. So when you visualize the data, you get a lot of insights. And also, if you use different parameters like price and other things, right? Price versus sales, all the things, and ratings, everything. Okay. So in that case, you will gain a quick insight. Okay. So in that case, right? For example, the price is the important factor. So in that case, you will work upon more on the price factor also. Okay. But price is very difficult. Pricing it is very difficult, because you come up with some, even if you come up with a wafer thin margin, the competitor will, still what they do is, even with the negative margin, they are ready to sell it off, because they want to onboard more number of customers. That is a cost to the company. They don't mind investing more on that. Okay, with the data visualization, right, we can identify the latest trend, and we can predict the sales volume. Like I said here, right, we can predict the sales and latest trend. So what are the trends? The weekends they are coming here, and if the price is less, this is one of the pattern or trend. And then with this visualization, we can clarify which factors influence the customer behavior. What are the factors? The price and the rating, convenience. These are the factors influence the customers to come and buy. And also the price and offer, right, that will influence the customer to buy. So even though the customer, they don't want to buy certain items, once they walk into a store, retail store, when they see certain products have any the attractive offer, obviously it will change their behavior. So what they do is, okay, whatever, I just came here to buy only 2 items, but since there is an offer here, I'll go and buy that one also. Okay. So it will drive the customer to buy. What factors that drive the customers to buy more, right? So, and determine which areas require attention or important. This is also very important. Okay. So with the visualization, we will get to know. So, what areas require attention and improvement. The cost is more, and we don't see, certain products we are not selling it. And there are some products we can see that negative margin, right? It requires immediate attention. There are some products we are not at all selling it, that requires immediate attention, right? Because if you don't sell the products, whereas if you stocked up more, your products will become idle in your warehouse. It will unnecessarily occupy the space. And especially kind of, the vegetables, right? The perished vegetables or fruits are perishable. If you keep it on a longer duration, what will happen? You're gone, right? So what areas we can cut the cost, and how we can make improvement. And shipment, for example, in the case of shipment, there are some specific areas the shipment takes longer time than to deliver it. So that area, right? So you need to take a quick action, because if that continues, the pattern continues, definitely customer will log out. So customers are ordering, and also even door delivery options are available, right? So customers can call the retail store and then ask them to deliver it. So if the shipment delay, any shipment delay, undue delay in shipment, so that can also needs immediate attention. Unless you monitor, unless you track or visualize it, things can go haywire, right? You will expect a lot of surprises, unfavorable surprises. Customer will walk out, obviously. So, okay, now what we will do is we'll take a look at, we'll start with taking, now you understood what is data visualization, why it is required. Unless you view the charts, unless you view the reports, you will not know what is happening. If you don't know what is happening in your organization, then things can, there is something wrong. Anytime anything can go wrong. Okay. So these are the charts that are available. Okay, with this type of charts, this is just a tip of the iceberg. A lot of other visuals are available. Let me see if I can cover majority of them. Okay, in today's session. And so these charts can help to understand. Different charts will be using it for different purpose. Now we will first start with understanding what exactly line chart and area chart. The line chart is nothing but the series of data points. Here you have the dot. When you plot the data, for example, most of the time the line chart, what we do is in the x-axis we use the time series data, and the y-axis we use some sales value or profit, something like that. So here, if you plot, for example, year and the sales or profit in x and y axis, and you can see something like this, right? So here you will find the dots here. All these dots, data points will get connected via the straight lines. So you can have more than one straight lines also. Okay. So in this case, each line corresponds to the category data values. The line charts have an x and y axis. Okay, it have an x and y axis. Okay, fine, everything is cool. So what is this more than one line? So what does it represent? Here you set sales, and here we have time. Why it is showing 3 lines here? Because, for example, you have used category also. In addition to these 2 dimensions, here is a dimension, and sales is not a dimension, it's a measure. And also we've used the legend as the category. So let's say you have 3 category. One is the technology. Technology is from 2011 to till date. If you see, it is going up, right? And if you see the apparels, it went, it has fallen down. It is going up, right? And apparels, technology, and if you have electronics, right, it is also, we could see a fall in 2012. It is going up here. So overall, from 2013 to 14, we could see an upward trend. So it is not a cause for concern. I don't have to worry about. But still, we need to work upon. Look here. Here it is going. Still, can we push this up in 2000? Especially in this category. Is there what kind of strategy we can come up? So by looking at this chart, you can come up with some. You can strategize what you can do in order to improve your top line and bottom line. Okay. And here, the question is, when can I use line chart? If you want to compare the trends over time, trends. If somebody's asked you what is a line chart, when you can use it, you can use line chart to find out the trends over a period of time. So that is the reason why in the x-axis, right, most of the cases we use time series related data. For example, year, month, a date, a week, or weekdays, like that. And if you want to see increase or decrease in followers on social networks, in your Insta account, right? So you have any increase or decrease in your followers, something like that, right? Okay, you can see it here, and you can use it in the stock prices also. Okay, Wipro, Infosys, Accenture, what is the stock prices? Which one? What is the trend we can see it, right? And especially in the case of intraday trading, the charts are crucial. Okay, you need to interpret the chart very clearly. Only then you can take an appropriate action. So when am I not supposed to use a chart? Everything. So when you have more data points, okay. For example, if you have a state column, right, you want to see the sales performance by state, and you have so many states or city wise, right? In that case, you will have a lot of lines, difficult to interpret. When you have more data series, don't go for line chart. The next one is the area chart. Area chart is also somewhat similar to a line chart. It will overlap, right? Sanoj Kumar's question is, it is line chart. How can add data level over it? Because it will overlap to each other. Let it overlap. Let it be there because I'll show you. Don't worry. Okay. In the Power BI desktop, I'll show you. Okay. Don't worry. It will overlap. There will be some kind of overlap. Look here, there is a overlap here. But these two are different categories. Okay. The area chart and line chart also same in one aspect, because with area chart and line chart, you'll be able to find out the trend. Okay. So, but what exactly the difference between area and line chart in that case? Then why should I use area chart? Both of them gives me the trend. Why should I use the area chart? So the area between, the difference is the area between in the x-axis and the lines. This is your lines. The area between this one, I'm talking about this thing, this area, okay, and this area. Okay. This one, the area between the x-axis and the line. Okay, the line and this one. This is your filled with some color. Okay. Okay, so here the area chart between the lines and x-axis filled with the color. Okay, and now the question is, okay, this is one thing. Okay, here if you use the area chart, the trends are reduced at a glance. If you see here, right, the areas are filled up so that you can get a much better insight compared to the line chart, right? Because the trends are reduced at a glance. Okay, that's it. Not much difference between line and area chart. So in case of trend, if you want to find out the trend over a period of time, especially to understand the increase and decrease in sales performance or something like that kind of situation, you can go for the line chart or a stacked area chart. And the next one is okay. And also, see, importantly, the stacked area chart, right? This is best to visualize the part to whole relationship, right? So this one will help us to show how each category contributes the cumulative level. Part to whole relationship also, you can use the stacked area chart, right? So for that purpose, for tool, for example, each category, right? So for example, technology category, what is the overall contribution out of overall contribution? What is the technology contribution? The category, okay. So likewise, you can do part to whole. You can find out the part to whole relationship, right? Out of the total sales, what is the contribution of my apparel? So in that way, the stacked chart is very much helpful. Next one is the bar and column chart. What is bar and column chart? In simple one-liner, you can use either a bar chart or column chart to compare the values across categories side by side. For example, here we have year. In each year, in these three categories, what is the sales happen? We want to compare it side by side. In that kind of situation, you can go for, this is called your column chart, this is called your bar chart, horizontal bar chart. In simple term, because a bar chart is a column chart. Okay, so in the case of bar chart, it is horizontal, whereas the column chart is vertical. That is the simple difference. If the x-axis dimension is not a simple date, a year, or something like that, for example, these values are longer, very longer. For example, yeah, so these values are very longer. In that kind of situation, for example, you plot the city name here, right? In each city of these three categories, which category are we selling more? The city name is too big. So in that kind of situation, you can go for bar chart. Because otherwise, what will happen is this city name is a very big, a very lengthy one. This city name is a very lengthy one. Both of them can overlap. It can get cluttered, very difficult to interpret sometimes. So in that kind of situation, you can go for the bar chart. Okay, if the category names are too long, so it is preferable to use a bar chart rather than the column chart. If you remember it, this is enough. Okay, so but the column and bar chart, these two type of charts are commonly or widely used when to visualize the data. Okay, but if you look at these two charts, right, it uses the rectangular bars. The rectangular bars, right? These rectangular bars, look here and here. The size, the size of this bar is proportional to the data values. The size of the rectangle is proportional to the data value. If the sales is more, the size will be proportional to the higher volume of sales. Okay, the more the sales, right? Something like that. Now the question is when I can use the bar and column chart. If you want to compare the different categories or track changes over time using column and bar charts, we can go for these type of charts. Now the question is, what is the difference between these two? It is not coming out clearly, right? So line chart works best for time. Bar graph works for categories, time categories, right? If you want to compare the categories side by side, then you can go for bar graph. And if you want to find out the trend, especially trend, a time-based trend, if you want to understand. So in that kind of situation, you can go for line chart. So if it is a time line chart, categories bar graph. You just remember this, okay? And okay, the next one is this one. I will show you little later. Before that, right? I will just jump into the Power BI desktop and I'll show you the demo. It takes this much of time. Oh my God, it is still this. Okay, it got loaded. Okay, fine. Here, what I am going to do is I am going to use this line chart. And here, let's say I'm going to use the year, or let's use month prefix here. Sales W04. If you see here and if you put it here, sales. So what I did here was, okay, I just clicked on the line chart visual. This is available beneath this visualizations pane. Okay, this is what your line chart. Okay, and what I do is I just resize it. You can resize it if you want, right? You can resize it by just moving this up and down. You can either reduce the height and width. You can resize it. And if you see here, what I did here, I just dropped the month prefix from my calendar table here. So automatically the months are appearing here. And then the sales column, I just dropped it here from my sales W0. There are two columns that are coming from two different tables. The year comes from, month comes from the calendar table, whereas the sales comes from the sales W04 table. Pretty simple. Next, what I do is I just see to that, I just drag and drop this one into my legend. So it is updating this chart. Look here. This is what my category. Or if you want to use anything, for example, you instead of using you need to drag and drop it in the category. Otherwise, what you do is you just drop this directly here. Look here. Just drop the columns directly into this visual. And if you see it for this visual, right, these are the fields. The columns which you dragged and dropped it directly into this visual, those columns you can find it here. In which axis, which columns that you used it, right? But the best way of doing is you can just drop it here. Okay, the x-axis is a field, y-axis is a field, and x-axis what you wanted to use it. Usually, in the case of line chart, we use the time related data here, like a month, day, week, and all. Okay, and in the y-axis we specify the numeric value. Okay, and the next one is the legend, right? Apart from these two columns, if you want to use any other column, especially the categorical column, you can use it in the legend, so that each month across these three categories, what are the sales happen, right? So for example, if you hover the cursor here somewhere, it shows all these three categories. What are these? Blank you can ignore. There are some data related issues. Okay, furniture, office supplies, technology. In each category, how much sales we made in September month, right? And how much sales, if you move for all these three data points, right? It gives me the values in the black colored rectangle, which is nothing but your tooltip. This is called your tooltip. Okay, in the tooltip is pretty much helpful to get a quick glance about in each category how much we are selling it, all the things. Okay. Okay, so and you have a lot of options are available to format this visual. You have something called formatting, format icon here. Okay, format your visual. Just select this one, and if you scroll down here, you can see the lines here. And here the solid joint type is round, meter, and solid line type is dotted. If you want to use, you can use dotted, or if you want to use dashed, you can use dashed. But this is the default one, solid. Let it be there, solid be there. And joint type round or bevel, you can use it. Okay. And the next one is you can change the colors. If you want to change the colors for each category, you can change it. And the other one is the spacing. Okay. For example, if you increase it, it is loading it. Let's wait for some time. Yeah. So 1 second, let me just select this one here. The lines. Okay. And here the line spacing. Yeah. The minimum category width is category width. Okay. It is 29 pixel. You can increase that one also. And the colors also you can change it. And then the markers, if you want to use markers, you can enable on so that you will get to know exact point. Okay, the markers and apply settings to all. Or I don't want to for everything, only for office supplies I need it. You can select this one. Okay, series office supplies. Okay, here the show marker off. Okay, in this case, what is this color? This is office supplies. I don't want to see the marker here, right? And if you enable this marker here, okay, for a specific category, you can disable the marker. Okay, so like this option is also available. If you want, you can use it. And the other thing is like shape. You can change whatever the shape for the markers. Okay, you can change it here. And supposing you want to have the rectangle, you can have it something like this. But in this case, whatever that I change it is applicable only for the furniture. What it is, I'll just make it all. Okay, all these things. Let's say I'm going to use this one. Everywhere it shows the same thing. Okay, and here the colors. Okay, leave it, and the data labels. If you want the data label, you can enable it. Look here, it display the values also along with it, but it will look a bit cluttered. Better you can toggle this off. And series labels. Okay, you can enable the series labels also if you want. What these each and every line is, right here itself will display furniture, office supplies. Since the middle one is furniture and supplies and technology is this one, since right, it is kind of overlapping here, right? It doesn't have sufficient space, since it is not displaying the technology here. But if you increase the height, you can see it here. So with formatting, you can do a lot of things. Okay, a lot of options are available with formatting. For example, I want to change the title or something like that. For example, you just go and type it. You don't have to type each and everything. So you don't have to scroll down and search each and everything. So you might have familiar with Excel, the basic charts and all you use it, right? So the chart title and all, what is the title that I want to give it? So here, if you go here at the bottom, sales by month prefix. But what is the month prefix? It doesn't look neat. And I'm going to, maybe the column name is month prefix, but it doesn't look good, right? The name. So you can change to sales by month and category. And then you can increase the size of the font, okay, for sales by month category. And then if you scroll down here what I do is I just select the background color as black, and the text color I will make it white. Okay, and you can do this. And also, if you want to make it center, right? The title should be center. You can select this one. Okay, or else what you can do is, okay, I don't want to do the center all the things, right? You can just leave it as it is. You can keep it here. Okay, sales by thing. And the next one is the legend. For example, you don't want the legend to be displayed here, and if you want the legend to be displayed just beneath this one, you can just type it here. We know what is legend, right? So you just type it. Legend is on here, and if you expand it, you can see the top left Instead, what I do is bottom left. I don't want this one to be displayed there. Okay, and if you want to have it like this, you can have it. But again, you don't need this one. Okay, here you can, you can toggle this off. Okay, and then the next step is what I do is I just simply copy this and paste it here. I just did the copy paste. Okay, now what I do is I want to convert this to the area chart. I was talking about area chart, right? So here you have stacked area chart and area chart. Area chart is somewhat like this, but if you select the stacked area chart, even this one also somewhat similar. But the area between the x-axis and the line, right, will be filled with the colors. Okay, will be filled with colors. That is what you can see it here. Even for this, you have a lot of options. You can go and change the title. So you have the same as, right? We just copied. Only difference is this one. Okay. And let us see if any other options are available. Data labels. You can enable data labels, but again, it will be cluttered. Don't do that. And total labels. This is not required. The grid lines. If you want to horizontal is on, I can just disable this off. But here, nothing is visible now. And the next one is the legend x-axis, and then general. If you go here, title effects, visual border. If you wanted, you can have the border. Look here. Here we don't have the border, but you can enable the visual border here. And you have other features like, for example, if I select here and then general, and then the effects. If I go here, the right, so you can just slide this towards the right side. And then the transparency. Okay, if you want to give transparency, you can give it here. You raised a hand, Sanoj Kumar. Yeah, tell me, what is your question? Someone raised the hand. I don't know, Sanoj Kumar or Raja or Sudeep. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, and you have a lot of options are available. And if you want, you can have the horizontal or dashed kind of thing. The look here, can you see this one? The grid lines. Okay, and if you don't want it, you can just disable it. If we don't want the grid lines, sometimes with the grid lines you can find out, right? So you can find out exactly, right, where the value. If you have a grid line something here, so you can make out correctly, right, very clearly, which one is what. And you can use zoom slider. Look here, this slider, right? So if you wanted to, if you wanted to zoom in, zoom out, you can do it with this one. Okay, the zoom slider option is also available. Usually we don't use the zoom slider and all. And then yeah, so these are the things. Okay. So, but more or less, both of them are same. This is, but in the case of area chart, you have the plain area chart and you have the stacked area chart. Sorry. If you want to convert the line chart into area chart, just simply copy paste this visual. You don't have to drag and drop the columns manually again. Okay, just go and select what are the type of visual that you needed. Okay, in this case, I just need the area chart. Look here, I just select the area chart. Sorry, and here I don't know why. Okay, I did not select this one. Okay, this is my area. If you want to convert the area chart, it looks like this. And then my stacked area chart. Okay, stacked my area chart, and both of them looks somewhat similar, but there is a difference here. Okay, but here the scale values are different, but here the scale values are little bit. Here it starts from 0, whereas here it starts from 0.1 m and all. Okay, but the idea of the stacked chart is part to whole. If you see the part to whole, this part furniture part compared to the whole, right? you can make out quickly the technology part. This one, right? This part is this part to whole. If you compare it, the more revenue is generated in technology. Okay, and also the tool tips are very much helpful. With this, you can gain a quick insight. Okay, one second. So here, if you see here, right? So part two thing. Furniture is 4,31,000. Sorry, the technology in all the things you can see the technology is the one is appearing on top, right? Other two categories. Part to whole relationship, you can make it. Okay. And the other example is, for example, if I go here, the next one is we have seen the bar and column chart. So before I talk about the bar and column chart, right, I will just go to the PowerPoint and will explain you, because we have 6 different options are available for the chart. Okay, the column chart, bar chart and all. Okay, and here the first two pair, if you see here, this is your the first pair. The first pair is a stacked bar chart, stacked column chart. This is related to stacked, this is related to clustered bar chart, stacked bar chart, stacked column chart, clustered column chart. The last one is your 100% bar chart, stacked bar chart, 100% stacked column chart. So here it is something like this. I just classified like this: stacked and clustered, 100% stacked. The first one is, the first pair is stacked, and second pair is clustered, and third pair is 100% stacked. So the third pair, second pair is this one, clustered. Okay, in each class or category, you will find bar and column, bar and column, bar and column chart. Bar is horizontal, column is vertical. That's it. Okay. Okay, so at a high level in Power BI, there are 3 types of bar charts are there: stacked, clustered, and the other one is 100% stacked chart. So whether it is stacked bar chart or clustered column chart, the chart display data using rectangular bars only. Okay, in all the cases, it uses rectangular. Obviously, the length of the bar is proportional to the data value. So if the sales value is very big, obviously the rectangle, the height will be more, right? Higher. In the case of stacked chart, where it's a bar or column, the rectangles are stacked one over other. Okay, that is the difference between the stacked and the clustered chart. Okay, I'll just show you now. Okay, I start with the clustered column chart. Here we just put this. Sorry, what I will do is I will just go here and then I just take the month prefix. Sorry, year and not year and category. Sales. Let me put the sales here. So 2011, 12, 13, 14, right? 2011, all these 3 categories, it displays the values. For each year, we can see the categories side by side, so that you can quickly compare in 2011, which category, how much we sold. Side by side, you can compare it. And if you see here in 2013 technology, but overall, if you look at only the orange colored one, it is high, but in 2014, unfortunately, it is less. But up to 2013, we could see an increase, the upward trend. In 2014, we could see some kind of a drop in sales. But all the 3 categories, if you see here, right? So there is a drop in revenue, right? Compared to except 2011, 2012 and 13. If you compare it, it is less. Okay, now what I do is I just create the stacked bar chart. One second. I'm going to click on the clustered bar chart. Okay, otherwise, in the interest of time, I just remove it. Just Control C, Control V, duplicate this. And then if you want to convert this to clustered bar chart, select this visual and click on this. That's all. Either you can use this one or you can use them. Since the values in your x-axis are very small, better you can go by this. You don't need the bar chart. So in this case, what I do is I just remove this one. And, for example, I just put some product name or something like that. Okay, product name is very big one. A lot of products are there. I'll use region name or some y-axis. In each region, what is this? For Southeast Asia, the bigger one, lengthy one. Central Asia is a little bigger. So you can better go for the bar chart. This is your bar chart. This is your column chart. But these two are falls under the clustered category. Okay. So in the case of the clustered chart, the data values are displayed side by side. Okay. Next one is we will take a look at the stacked bar chart. This is the one, this part, and this part. Okay. I just select this one. And what I am going to do, this is a stacked bar chart. In the case of stacked bar chart, each rectangle will be stacked over other, okay, one over the other. So what I am going to do is I just go here and then I just say so which one can we use it here? Here we can use something like do have the sales amount. Sales amount is not there, sales is there, right? Okay. So what I am going to do is I'm going to select sales here. But when you drop this directly here, right, you don't have to be familiar with this. In which axis, which one should I? It automatically picks up this. In the y-axis, your numeric data type. Okay, and then what I do is I'm going to use the category here again. I just drop this here, category. But this is a stacked bar chart. I told you the rectangles will get stacked over one over the other. But here it looks exactly like your clustered column chart. Okay, what I do is now I just drop the segment in the legend column. Look here. So we have 3 categories, and each category we sell it under 3 different segment: consumer, corporate, home office. For example, in the case of technology, right, it gives me the split up. Okay, and the split up by segment. In the technology category, in consumer segment, how much we sold, and corporate and technology, how much we made sales. But the stacked bar chart is helpful to compare the part to whole relationship. You need to remember this part to whole relationship. Anything stacked, we are comparing the part to whole. We don't compare side by side. Okay, the category, it is not good for comparing side by side, part to whole. But if you see the bigger one, right? So the contribution of consumer segment is more when it comes to revenue. And even in the case of office supplies, right, part to whole, when you compare the total thing, this consumer segment is really, we are doing good. And again, as I said, you can go to the format icon. There you can choose all the things. You can bring down the legend here if you want it. And if you want the title, if you want to give any background for the title, and if you want to change the fonts type and font style and font size, you can go to this format pane and you can type it. The shortcut way of doing is, right, for example, font. You just go and type font. You can see all the font. For title, you can give some font, and legend, you can give some font. And see, the best practice is don't give different fonts, font styles. Use the same font style, and except this one, the title. Okay, title should be different from the rest, right? Rest of them you can use Segoe UI. And if you want the size to be increased for the values, you can specify that also. You can increase it. Okay, simple. You just go here, font, So where and all font properties are even for the title, we need to specify font style. Legend, we need to specify font style, and x-axis and y-axis, we need to specify different font styles, right? So in that case, you just type the font, and also you can specify the size along with the font. But in one go, all I just did was type the font here. It shows the fonts where and all available, right? And the values, the title, y-axis, title, x-axis, title, all the things it shows in one go. Next step is, okay, the next one is, okay, let me just copy, paste this one. If you want to rotate this, you can select stacked bar chart. It's a, horizontal, it is a vertical, but only the difference between the column chart and then stacked chart is two differences. Each rectangle will get stacked one over other. Another difference is, in the case of stacked chart, you can find out the relationship between the part to whole. Okay, that's all, not much. And here, if you select this visual, and if you go to the format here, and here you can see the label. Visual labels, so data labels on. For the data labels, if you enable on, but in this case, if you enable the data label, it'll be good, right? It is not going to get cluttered. Same way, you can enable the data label for this also. Okay, label, and especially show data labels. This is very much helpful. Even in this case, I don't want to see everything. For example, show data labels off for consumer. You can do this one. Okay, specific thing, I don't want to see it. Only for all. But in this case, we want to see everything. Let it be there. The next one is I just resize it. And then the last pair. The last pair is 100% stacked bar chart. Stacked bar chart, stacked column chart, we have seen. This is your stacked column chart. This is a bar chart. Horizontal. It is horizontal. This is vertical. The same thing, I just copy paste it here. And I'm going to click on this one. Which one? This one. This is my 100% stacked column chart. And if I select this one, 100% stacked bar chart, what is the difference? Both of them are stacked, right? Both the categories are stacked, but here it is 100% stacked bar chart, column chart. What is the difference between these two? In this case, what happens? Look here, if you hover the cursor here, it gives me the values in terms of percentage, right? But whereas it display the values as it in consumer, 22 lakhs we made, and in the corporate, we have made 13 lakhs. But when it comes to 100% stacked column chart, bar chart, instead of displaying the value, it gives me the percentage along with the value also. Percentage along with it. So, right, so 50 plus 79 plus 19, if it comes around 100, right? If you add all these values, it should come 100. It shows in terms of percentage instead of values. And all the bars, if you see, the rectangles are equal in size in the case of 100% stacked bar chart. Now the interview question is, what is the difference between the clustered column chart and stacked bar chart? The difference is, if you want to compare the categories side by side, then you can go for the clustered charts. And if you want to compare, or if you want to show the relationship between part to whole, then you can go for stacked charts. But in stacked itself, you have two types are there at an high level. One is stacked, plain stacked, and the other one is 100% stacked chart. But in each stack, right, stacked chart, plain stack chart, you have horizontal bar, horizontal stack chart, vertical stacked chart, and in the case of horizontal, both so bar and column is available. Bar stack chart, stacked column chart, and stacked bar chart, 100%. Here, the plain thing, it is available. That's all, not much difference. But the interview, they'll expect you this question also. What is the difference between stacked chart and 100%? In the case of 100%, it gives me the percentage. You want to find out the percentage of each category compared to the whole, right? What is the contribution of each category compared to the whole? Part to whole relationship is stacked, and side by side comparison of your categories, this one, the clustered chart. Got it? It's pretty straightforward. Okay, what is the next one? The next one is this is what we discussed, right? So stacked bar and column. It works best for comparing data values across categories. And when to use stacked versus clustered chart. Stacked chart used to show the ratio between a total and response, part to whole. Clustered charts allow data points to be compared. That is the difference between these two, okay? Next one is the combo chart. In the case of combo chart is also called as a combination chart. This chart have a combination of the column as well as the line chart. Column chart and the line chart. It can have one or two y-axis in the case of combo chart. So in the case of combo chart, what happens is you have two y-axis. Both the y-axis if shares the same x-axis. In that kind of situation, you can go for combo charts. So in this case, right, the advantage is you can compare multiple ranges with different measures. For example, you have a measure called sales, you have a measure called profit. You want to compare the sales and profit with year or quarter, multiple measure. What is the measure? The numeric values like profit or sales, right? You can plot it together in the y-axis since it shares your common x-axis. I'll just show you with an example so that you'll be able to understand. I just go here, and here what I do is I just clear this, and then if I go here, you can find the line and stacked column chart and line and clustered column chart. What I do is I just select this one. This is your combo chart. Here, what I am going to do is I'm going to use something like here. I don't have month. Quarter is not there. Okay. But here it will be there. Quarter. Okay. Let it be there. And here I'm going to. I don't want the year, month number, and month prefix. And what I do is I just drop the sales over here. Okay. And then now if you see here, it is like your clustered column chart. Wait for some time, and next what I am going to do is I'm going to drop the profit here. In this case, the profit, I dropped it here. Instead, what I'm in the y-axis. Look here, you have two y-axis. The column y-axis and line y-axis. I just dropped this in the line y-axis. The moment when I dropped it here, these two y-axis is related measures. It shares the single column month here. So look here, this is your month. And here you can see the sales as well as the line is nothing but the profit. And if you hover the cursor here, for example, in September month, the sales was 12,72,000. And if you keep the cursor on top of this line here, right, it's 1,60,000. So for 12 lakh, how much profit we made? 1,60,000. So along with sales, you can see the profit also side by side. And you can go here, you can enable the data label so that it will make your job simple when it comes to interpretation. I just enable the data label. Look here, it is good here. The 0.5 M is your profit and 0.16 M is your profit. So you can see that, forget about the blank, there are some issue with the data. And from September to Feb, right, it is going down. So actually, if you see here on the x-axis, it is showing, it is not showing the chronological order. What do you mean by chronological order? In the interview, they will ask you, how do you display the chronological order, right? We can arrange a month in ascending order, right? Very good. So how can you arrange the month in ascending order? Sanoj, why don't you tell? I unmuted you all. How can you do that? Here we have the month number. I'm going to select the month prefix and then sort by column, and then I'm going to say month number. Power Query Editor. Okay, so we don't have to go to the Power Query Editor. And what I will do is I will just month prefix. Okay. You should select. I have only one table, right? Yeah, month number. I'm going to sort by month prefix. It should be the other way around. Yeah, circular dependency. I just suspected that way. Okay, or else we just go here, format and data fill. Okay, not here. And first of all, let us see. Okay, this is the problem. I'll just change it to min of order date from your sales W04, comma max of order date. Sort by data. So what we do is usually we select the month prefix and then we sort by month number. Let me see if this is a month number. Yes, it's a month only. Usually it has to do this way. Okay, and there is some problem happened here. Let me just check here and then sort ascending. Yeah, now it is doing correctly. Okay, Jan Feb. So what I did here was I just selected the month prefix. It is all in the the text month. Months are in text. You select this one and then go to the sort by column and then sort by month number. So what will in Excel, I think you would have tried this one, right? So in Excel, you would have tried this one. In that case, what will happen is you are sorting it by this one so that this one will remain fixed and this one will get sorted out. So one is nothing but Jan and two. If you do the ascending thing here, right? So the one is the Jan and two is Feb. It will get sorted in. Okay, I just did this sort axis in ascending order, month prefix. Because I selected the month prefix and then I just did this one. 1 second here, I just. And you can see it here, the y-axis, two y-axis, the profit and sales. It shares the x-axis, the common axis, right? The x-axis is the common for these two y-axis. What are the y-axis value? Sales and profit. Okay, but the advantage here is you can compare the sales with the profit. Okay, my sales is 60 million. How much profit I made it, right? You can compare it side by side here itself. You can compare multiple ranges with different measures. Measures are in this case the sales and profit. Okay, the next up, we will look at the scatter plot. Look here, this is what your scatter plot. I just click on it. It got dragged. So when you click any visual, once it will get dragged to your report canvas automatically. And here the chart will get filled with the dummy data. Okay, so that you will get to know once you populate the data, how the chart looks like. Okay, here we don't have any data, it's a dummy data. Okay, now what I do is I just drop some columns here, for example, sales. So now the question is, when will you use scatter plot? To compare two numerical variables or two numerical columns, we use scatter plot. Okay. And here, what I am going to do is I just drop the region here. And region, and next one is the segment. I will just put it in legend as segment. Hey, Sanoj Kumar, just now I started, my neighbor, 1 second, started scatter plot. We use it to, so you need to click on this one. The moment when you click on the scatter plot, scatter chart, just beneath this one, it will get dropped here. And then I just dropped two measures here, sales and profit. And then the other, in the values, I just dropped the region, and then the legend, I put the segment here. Okay, so here you can see the legend names are in different colors. With this, you can quickly make out what is corporate. So these, dotted things are corporate and so on. Okay. Now the question is, when can I use the scatter chart, scatter plot? Okay, it is also called a bubble chart. I will tell you why bubble chart. Okay, to show the relationship between two quantitative variables or two numeric variables. I want to understand the relationship between or the correlation between two numerical variables or columns. For example, profit is a numerical data type and sales is a numerical data type. Okay, numerical variables or numerical columns. I want to understand the relationship between correlation between these two tables. Are these two columns are correlated with each other? The classic example, as the sales increases, does the profit is also going up? Obviously, when you sell more, your profit will also be going up. Even if the margin is very less, still more the sales, obviously the profit will also go high, right? This is one of the example. So you can see the almost all the values are clustered except this one and this one. These are called your outlier. So with the help of the scatter plotter, we can find out the outlier in our data set. What do you mean by outlier? The exceptionally very high value or unusually very small value. The values that are far away, in simple terms, the values that are far away from the clustered value. All these values are clustered together, right? Almost all of them are somewhat closer, and except this one is too far, and this one was slightly far. These are kind of your outlier. Okay. So okay, I understood what is outlier. The values that are far off from the majority of the values is called your outlier, roughly speaking, or the values that are exceptionally very high value or exceptionally very small value are called as outlier. So what is what is going to happen if I am an outlier? Does it matters? Is that a cause for concern? Yes, there are two aspects to outlier. One is if it is the outlier values due to data entry issues. For example, we sold only 1,000 or $10,000. Our sale, we made $10,000 sales, but mistakenly, instead of $10,000, additional zero went in there mistakenly, typo. Okay, $100,000. This is due to typo. We can see something, odd value, right? Something which is very big compared to other values. Okay, as a domain expert, you know very well, hey, this is not at all possible. We never sold 1 million sales. We never made 1 million. Something abnormally very high value can easily make out. Right? That those are called your outlier. Okay. Fine. With that, you can find out outlier. So now the question is this a valid outlier or invalid? Invalid is something like data entry error. Valid is, yeah, on the specific day, the sales was very high. Okay, rarely it's something like fluke, right? On that specific day, many people they came and bought this. In the case of restaurant, right? If your restaurant is far off from outside in the outskirt, so any marriage party happens, right? So fortunately, some marriage party people they came to your hotel on that specific day, hence you had more sales. Rest of the day, not much. Okay. In the toll road, in the bypass road, right? On the both side, you'll have the hotels. Those people travel on the toll road, and for to eat something, they park it somewhere and go and have lunch, right? So not all the days the sales are. This is a simple example. Okay. So this is the outlier. Okay. Sometimes the outlier can be valid. Sometimes it is not valid. So if it is not valid, you can fix it. This is not 100K. It is just 10,000. So that it will be somewhat closer here. You can fix the issue. Fine. The next one, what I'm going to do is here. What is the interpretation, file interpretation? In the case of scatter plot, in the interview they ask you, you can tell them to find out the correlation between the two quantitative variable or numerical variable. We'll be using the scatter plot. The classic example, as the sales increases, does the profit also increases? Okay. Okay, the sales is increasing, but the profit is not increasing. It is not increasing much. Because for a simple example is you are selling the product, the selling price and cost price is more or less same. Some cases, take for example Flipkart. Sometimes they sell the products lesser than the cost price because they wanted to pull all the customers to their business. Right, so during the deal or something, right? So some big billion days or something, in the past, they give some free items also, or 1 rupee, one pen drive. Okay, so in that case, you sell the products at a negative margin. So you can see, right, how much, impact you had it, right? You will get to know that because they were very aggressive in acquiring more number of customers. Right, so you can see that, right? But there are some segment or there are some categories. The sales is good, but specific category, the margin is not much. So with this identifying the correlation, so almost all the values should be clear. And if it should be something, if you draw a line here, it should be a straight line. If you draw somewhere covering all these dots, and if you draw a line here, it will be something like this. For example, if you draw a line somewhere here, it should cover all the data points. It should be a straight line. Okay, that means there is a correlation exists. Sometimes what will happen? In some cases it will be like this. For this the example is the price here. Okay, as the price, for example, here you have the price here. As the price increases, the sales is falling down. You want to see the trend, right? You want to find out the relationship between these two numerical variables. As the price increases, obviously the sales also falling down. But there are some exceptional cases when we use gas, right, for our cooking purpose. Even though they increase the price, we are supposed to buy it, right? We have to bear the brunt. We still order it, buy it, right? Some cases, but majority of the cases, if you increase the price, in this case, also there exists a relationship between the price and sales. Okay, but it has an inverse relationship. But in this case, the sales and profit, we can see an upward trend. There exists a relationship between these two variables. As the sales increases, the profit is also going up. Now we understood the purpose of scatter plot. Okay. Now with the scatter plot, a lot of formatting options are available. You just select the format pane here. And then if you scroll down, or before that, I'll just show you one more thing, beautiful feature, play axis. You have something called play axis. And if you go up here and if you drop the year into the play axis, you can see the 2000. But look here, the video button got enabled here. And if you click on this, it will play animation. Look here, animated thing. You can animate this one. And if you click on, look here, when you pass it here, 2012, what is the sales, what is the profit? And 2011, what is the sales and profit? 2012 and 13, what is the profit? And you can play and pass and play. 2013, and if you click on this once again, 2014, 11, 12. So you have the animated video, right? Yes, Sanoj Kumar, it's a nice thing, right? You can also try it in your office, okay? Office data, you can play around with it. Okay. And the next one is if you go to the format pane here, and if here itself you have an option here, size. Okay. And for example, I just want to put the sales column here in the size. So bigger the size of the circle, right? It tells us higher the value. Okay. And when you hover the cursor on top of this one, you can see in the central region, corporate segment, the sales is this much and profit this much. And for this year 2014. And you can see this one also, right? You can see all these things. Okay, you can increase the size also here. And here, if you go here, and you have something called the general effects. Not here. Not here in the visual itself. We have something called the markers. You can also change the markers here if you want to. If you are bored of seeing this one, this circle, you can change it to different thing. So the circle is enough here. It tells us clearly, which one is bigger and which one, and we can increase the size here. For example, if you want to increase the size of this bubble, we call it a bubble. Okay, hence it is also called a bubble chart. And you can reduce the size also. Okay, you can reduce the size or you can increase the size. Okay, and also you can change the colors for these bubbles, right? So whatever the color that you prefer it, you can use it. And the legend and other things, right? These are the important thing you should be remember. For example, if you play this one looks very good. Okay, so this is what your scatter plot. I just select it one more time. We have another feature when it comes to scatter plot. Look here, so far we explored about the format. In this itself, we have visual and general. In the general, you can specify the title. Probably you can increase the font size so that title will be much more visible. And then you can make the background color as black and the text color is your white color. If you want to center it, you can center it. All the things you can do it. And apart from this format thing, one second, I'll just select here. Sorry, here, correct. So here I just select this visual and then make sure that you are selecting the visual and then only this one will get it. So if you click it here, nothing will be there. Select this visual and then this icon will format, your visual icon will get enabled. Here you can do all kind of formatting, everything like I've shown. Apart from this, when it comes to scatter plot, you have something called analysis, right? Analysis thing. And if you go here, for example, you have something called average line plus add line. So what I do is I just select the add line and I'm going to select other one add line here and then series. For example, I'm going to select the add line one. And then for this, I just assign the sales. And then I'm going to select add line two. I'm going to select profit here. What has happened here? So a line has been drawn here. The average of the sales is falling here. The average of profit is coming up here. Okay, for example, 1 second. The average line is this is no profit here, and line 2, I just select sales here. Right, this is your x-axis sales. The average of sales, somewhat falling here. This is your profit. The average of profit comes here, somewhere here. Okay, so with this we can gain further insight. So what kind of insight we can gain it here? I'll just resize it. Look here. If you hover the cursor here, right? So in 2014, the profit is 5,000, 52,000 something. But if you see here, so this is your profit and average profit. This is your, sorry, average sales. This is your average profit. Anything above average profit and sales, you can gain a quick insight here. So these are the regions. These three segments, our sale is more, our profit is also more. Instead of blindly saying, as the sales increases, the profit is also increases. When you add an average line, you will get much better, insight. So with this, you can see above average sales and above average profit, what are the regions we are. For example, if you keep the cursor over here, You can see that 4,19,000, 38,000 profit we are getting it here, and here 2,59,000, 26,000. Whereas if you see here, somewhere here, the sales is 1,46,000 and 10,000. But here also, this is very interesting insight. The sales is 1,47,000. Though this Southeast Asia sales is little more than this, but the profit is lesser than that. Look here, 50% drop in profitability here, right, in Southeast Asia. So this, makes us to do further analysis. Why in Southeast Asia, though the sales is more compared to the South region, the profitability, the profit, why it went down to 50%. So where is the problem, right? So this is a very interesting insight. But here in this region, Southeast Asia, we can see that the sales is lesser than the average sales, and the profit is, but it is above the average profit, above the average profit. But the sales is below the average. But here, if you see here, the sales is 1,46,000 and here, right? So there is something wrong here. You just take a look at this one, right? So it will help us to understand. But these two are overlapping in one aspect, right? Somewhat it is overlapping it. 1,46,977. So somewhat 1,47,000, right? If you see the 977, you will understand, okay, 1,40,000. But here 1,47,534 is there, but still the profit is 50% less than this one. Okay, so there is something wrong here because the sales is somewhat closer to the average sales, but here this one is somewhat above the average sales, but that is what it says. But if you see, physically, right, manually, obviously the sales is more here, but profitability is more here. Okay, but within this, right, somewhere, right, it is less here. Okay, below profit, sir, below sales, average sales. So you gain further insight when you add the average line. Similarly, you can add the median line. And what is the difference between average and median? What is the difference between what is average, what is median? Mean, median, mode, school time we studied. Median is nothing but the middle value. The average is your you add all the values in your data points and then divide by the sample size. For example, 5 values given. You add all the 5 values divided by the 5. The sample size is 5. So that is the one will give you the average. Okay. Yeah, mean is equal to average value. Very good. In statistics, we use a term called mean, which is nothing but average. Very good. Right. So this is what your scatter plot. So now you understood how we can plot the scatter plot, how we can plot the combination chart. And also we discussed about when to use what chart. This is very much important. In the interview, they'll ask you about this and when to use what chart. Okay. So what we will do, see, with this, I'm going to wrap up the session. Okay. And the quiz related issue, right? I just checked it, and Sanoj Kumar, hope you are able to see that. For the correct answer, it will highlight with the green color, the rectangular. For the wrong answer, it will highlight with red color. If it is an incorrect answer, along with that, you can see the green colored one. That is your correct answer. So, Sanoj Kumar, you made a good attempt, right? Others like Raja, Sudeep, and Rajesh, you can give it a try for attempting the quizzes. Okay. And yes, and Renuka also, right? I know Renuka is also, she has kids and everything, but still, you can make an attempt. Make sure that this weekend you are completing the quizzes and assignments related to your Power Query Editor. You can work on that also. Okay. So with this, I'm going to wrap up. What will is from this Monday onwards, we are going to step up the pace to 2 hour compulsory. Okay, 2 hour, and Monday 2 hour and Wednesday 2 hour. And I will see to that if we can have one more session 6 hours, so that we will finish off the visualization part by fast tracking it, right? By having multiple sessions and the duration is a little more, we'll be able to complete it in a pretty fast manner. Once I complete the data visualization, the next one is the DAX. Okay, DAX also will try to cover it a bit earlier. Okay, because all of you are working professionals and you are importantly looking for a job change. Okay, fine. Any questions? But visualization requires, 2 or 3 more sessions. Yeah, live, yes. First, understand the fundas, okay, and when to use what chart. So in today's session, we discussed about the line chart and area chart. The line and area chart in general, we use it for finding the trend. If you want to find out the trend, you can. And in the case of clustered column chart, right? So these kind of charts will help you to compare the values, category values side by side. And the other one, the stacked and 100% stacked chart also we discussed. In the case of stacked chart, we are comparing the part to relationship. In both 100% also we do the same thing. But in the case of 100% stacked chart, it gives us the part to whole relationship in terms of the percentage along with the values. Okay. And also we discussed about combination chart. As per the combination chart, both the line and the column chart, you can display it, right? You can display it. In that case, 2 measures can share the common x-axis, and the next one is the bubble chart. Okay. Thanks, Anuj. Okay, thanks others, right? I'm going to wrap up the session. We'll upload the video shortly. Okay, I believe all of you are aware of your YouTube channel, right? You just go and watch it and go to my website and complete all the assignments also. Okay, fine. Okay, bye bye. Take care. See you Monday evening. It is confirmed. Okay.